Hi, it's Empress Rose. Welcome to our collective reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Any interaction with the channel is just fabulous. Likes, subscribes, comments, likes of other people's comments, all of that is great. And just special thanks to Ursus, Bonnie, and Anna for your donations. And a special thanks to everybody here just watching and connecting with spirit together. It's meaningful. And your presence here really adds to this whole experience. All right, we're starting off with Work Your Light, and they fell on the floor. I do have a tiny little desk though, so it's hard not to fall on the floor. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? So, oh, that's funny. We have Mother's Day coming up next week, and we just got the mother card. But how can we mother ourselves too? Because our mothers are just people, and they had skill sets, and they didn't have other skill sets, and they didn't get to pick which skill sets they had. We didn't get to pick which skill sets they had. They had the skill sets they had. They were human beings that had children. So there are going to be some holes in your mothering experience just by the fact that you were born to a human being. And so filling those holes yourselves, what you needed, provide for yourself. And mothers we have a variety of effort put in, skill put in, mental health and wellness. We've all had quite a various experience. Not everybody has the same mother. We have this like cultural idea of the mother and what they are. And then those that did not get that, supreme ideal mother feel cheated, but nobody got the supreme ideal mother. We all had just human beings as our moms. So your relationship with your mother is what it is. I'm not here to talk about that, but mother yourself where you need to take care of yourself. But also there is something here about mother, and then it seems poignant that it's coming a week before Mother's Day, in that whole season. So if there's also a sense of nurturing yourself, just really taking care of yourself, being gentle with yourself. We have so many people in our lives that love us, but they don't all know every moment of every day exactly what we need. I don't even know every moment of every day exactly what I need. So, so taking care of yourself when you do see your own needs, taking care of them. Other people can jump in from time to time, but it's primarily our own responsibility. So there's the lecture on mothering yourself. So yeah, take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be as much the ideal mother as you can muster to your own self. And then we have Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. With the mother card, that feels a little potent, right? Like that past, where we came from. It's like cutting the umbilical cord, right? Unbound. They have these sort of umbilical cords. Releasing yourself from expectations, maybe regarding your own mother or about what you believe or what you deserve, right? Because it's these humans are, our whole world, like for literally physically for a while, and then after that, our whole world. And there's a very strong sense of like, they have created, their formative years, right? Formative years. And this person was in charge of these formative years to varying degrees of success. And so there are these ideas that were formed, these concepts that were formed around what is inevitably a flawed person. And so it's difficult to sort out that, like, who is this person? And they created my world, my understanding of the world, my expectations of the world, my expectations of what love looks like, what nurturing looks like. All of these other relationships can sometimes cascade either in reaction or in mimic to that original relationship. So there's a sense, though, of getting a sense of what you need and releasing yourself from some of these formative experiences, perhaps, and the expectations that come with those, expectations for other people, but also expectations around motherhood and mothering and what that even means. And so there's a sense of releasing yourself, and nurturing yourself. And this past life, that's not who you are always forever. You know, decisions were made, and there's a release from that. And the soul pattern is, a lot of our patterns and rhythms are set up in childhood. This could be you also as a mother. You know, there are different stages of that, and empty nesting, and nesting, and then there's the empty nesting, and there's these releases and these always changing relationships, and the hope. I don't know what is going on here with my brain and these two cards, but it's wanting to bring in so much. You know, the ever-changing family dynamics and needs of the families, and shifting families and shifting dynamics. And it can be really hard to navigate those. We want those psychologically. We have a desire to have those be like foundational and structural and never changing. But this is like, it is changing. And your connection to motherhood, your connection to your past, something about that, either your own motherhood or your own relationship to your mother, is changing and shifting, and how you perceive something. But as you're going through these changes and shifts, be very gentle and kind to yourself. All right, we've got Urban Crow Oracle, these three. All right, great, good. Yep, changes. Okay, this is how they have decided to come up. Upheaval, Tower. Yes, upheaval. We have something, and this is interesting because we have the nest. We have the nest again, right? I was talking about nesting, both nesting and unnesting, and nesting and empty nesting. Here we have the eggs in the nest. There's a lot of upheaval here. There's some amount of safety. Some sort of future feels very secure, but the present has been upended. So yeah, I think that's really underscoring the ideas I was talking about shifts in family dynamics. Right, because here we have what appears to be a couple, and this is their nest, and they're squabbling, or they're just both upset. I don't know if they're upset with each other. I think they're upset with the circumstances, but so often that bleeds over into being upset with each other when the circumstances have a lot of upheaval in them. And then we can get upset with the people around us for, not being able to maintain stasis with us, not being able to, we have this uncontrollable upheaval that happens in our lives. And we maybe are looking to family members or whatever to keep it stable. I didn't want this. And you're not fixing it, but they can't fix it. This is something the wind did. So I feel like there's a little bit of conflict between these two, even though this is just the nature of life here on Earth. There's windstorms, there are these, and wind is reminding me of spirit and movement and divine timing and divine movement through our lives, and sometimes creating upheaval. And there is some safety though, so don't forget about the nest. And also staying focused on what's really important here, because these ones do not seem very focused on what's really important, which is preserving this future, preserving this. It almost feels like something has come through their lives and it's created conflict between the two. Instead, I can envision another possibility where these two are really focused on the egg here and the four eggs in the nest and on the future, but they're very focused on the present and the upheaval in the present. And I think that, sometimes we can just expect a lot of the people in our lives. This is so fascinating because, someone asked me, like, where do these messages come from? They come from here. Sometimes images from my life come through, but it's more like a dream state where it's like, and then suddenly I was here, and then suddenly I was there. It's not like one storyline, and this has nothing to do with any storyline. It's a separate, this reading is coming in so differently than they usually do. Because I'm not even, there's no dream state, there's no images here. It's something else is happening with this reading. So I hope that, I hope that it all works out. So yeah, this is just interesting, that family dynamic of wanting to maintain stasis and getting angry at each other when external circumstances come through and disrupt things. And it's nobody's fault here. It's the wind's fault, it's the spirit's fault. It's the movement of energy through the earth, through the world is what's doing this. But there can be a tendency to look at the people around you and blame and whatever, but that's not what's happening. I mean, that's not ideal, but there might just be a moment of that too, of just like, this is upsetting. I'm upset, you're upset, we're upset together, and we might be upset at each other for a moment. But I think hopefully we can refocus on what's really important and making sure we're taking care of that rather than just reacting in the moment, but responding in a very focused way. At some point, right, the upset happens and comes through, and there is upheaval here. So yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so then risk. This is reminding me of the choices card. This is really funny. I just made my lunch for the day, and it's shrimp. So it's funny to see shrimp in the card, the one piece of shrimp in any card I have, and here it is. Risk. So the risk is, wow, so these waves. Yeah, there's more tumult here. So within this sort of the nature of things, the more volatile nature of life here on Earth, we have this risk. We have to take a risk in the middle of this upheaval and this upset. The upheaval is creating a situation, I think, in which there is pressure put upon us to make an unusual choice. And I see this with Unbound here, with sort of a risk. We're setting free from the safety. We've been let loose from safety anyway. So the safety is not in the equation. Safety has left the room. This leaves us with, feeling maybe unbound, feeling ungrounded. Oh, look at this too. This unbound, ungrounded, literally ungrounded energy from these sunflowers. And then we're having this lift off here, this like unbound, unearthed, unearthlinged energy, this unrooted energy. And both of them, they have these roots coming down from them that are connecting them to the earth. And this is encouraging a letting go of that, and a risk, a leap of faith, an ungravitating, an unearthing, but we always talk about ungrounded as being bad, and this is encouraging you. This is encouraging us to be ungrounded, to lift up, to lift off. This is encouraging a lift off, a cutting of a cord, an ungrounding, unanchoring, lifting up of the anchor. But I don't think we can lift the anchor up. I think we're cutting the anchor off. There's upheaval and unbound, and it's just this up, and it's risky. It feels very risky. There's not, but you have to take a decision. It looks like you're making a decision or a choice or something within this upheaval, within this upheaval. You're making some sort of decision. You're like in the upheaval. It's like you run out of a burning building, and then you have to run back in to grab something, to grab to grab this future, to grab this vision, to grab this future. And you have to like run back into the burning building, not recommended. you have to run back into the burning building to grab something of value. You have to take a risk of some kind within an upheaval, unanchored, ungrounded. And in an ungrounded situation, you may not have time to really sort through everything or think through everything. You may just have to, in the upheaval, you may just have to make some quick decisions and take some risks without getting the chance to center and to ground down and to meditate and to really do the things you normally do to when you have an important decision. There may just be a risk you have to take right now. And because it seems like there's fast moving energy here that is uprooting. And in the middle of that, this decision comes in. Insight. Now, this is a slower energy. Now we slow down and it's like we see something, we understand something. It's like this uprooted, ungrounded energy, and the decisions made in that reveal something that we come to understand. This is a much more methodical way. It's like there's this tumultuous thing that happens, and then we have this methodical way of thinking through it later, maybe, or understanding what it is we did. But there's a lot of working on instinct here that I'm seeing in risk, in upheaval. And this too, this is a more methodical instinct. This is a more methodical intuition. So this crow wants this shrimp, but it couldn't reach the shrimp. So it's putting rocks in here, which is raising the level of the water. The shrimp is floating. It's raising the level of the water to where it can reach that. So there's this whole process of experimentation, exploration. It could be very ungrounding, unnerving, feeling very risky. And like, why am I doing this? Why would I do this? But you're going to know, you're going to see why you made the decision you made in the moment that it was required of you to make that decision. But it is like maybe analyze later. This is the shoot first, think later. It's the cut once, measure later. It's the you're going to have to make a quick decision and you can analyze it later. And when you analyze it, it's going to be very insightful, both about you and about everybody in this situation. You're going to get a lot of key insights. All right, let's move into the tarot. We're using Tiger Breathing Bears Tarot, also a little bit crazy, a little bit ungrounded. From the bottom of the deck, we have Nine of Earth. Okay, well, grounded right from the beginning. This is something you've been preparing for. You're ready for this. The groundwork has been laid. That's what I want to say. The groundwork has been laid for this. It's interesting because we have upheaval, unbound, and together those looked like ungrounded to me. And now here we have Nine of Earth. It is very grounded. The groundwork has been laid for something. There's a sense of having done the work and waiting to go out to play in it. Maybe we have a different energy coming in here. You know, maybe I just wanted to be like, now we're going into something that is grounded, that is routine, that is something that you do regularly, you've had some success in. Are you the god or goddess of this whole thing? Maybe not, but you're really on your way and you're most of the way there. So Nine of Earth, we have this prepared, cleaned, ready to go, ready to move. Just waiting for your opportunity. This little black cat waiting to go out the door, waiting for their opportunity. But what I'm also seeing is sort of like a racehorse or something just at the gate, ready to go. They've been training their whole lives. They've been doing this a long time. They are ready. They're ready to move at a moment's notice. That gun goes off, that decision gets made, and they are leaping out of the gate. They're leaping forward. So it's a car revving at a stop sign. It's ready to go. It's gassed up. It's got what it needs. It's working just fine. I don't know if you guys can hear the wild turkeys in my neighborhood, but they are out here and they are talking. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Oh, maybe you've been waiting for too long because it looks like there's some lack of inspiration now. All right. Here, talking about groundwork being laid, we have Messenger of Earth. Groundwork, this is the groundwork's being laid card. There's a lot of preparation that's gone into something. You're at the starting gate. You haven't gone forward yet, but you've prepared. You've prepared the soil in the garden. You maybe have planted a bunch of seeds. You're waiting for them to come up. It's not harvest time, it's preparation time. And that's where we've been. That's the past, the preparation. Preparing, laying the groundwork. That's for sure what I'm seeing here, this laying of the groundwork. That's really great because it just feels like with all this ungrounded energy floating around, it's like you have prepared, you have a, go bag packed, you've got your, or bug out bag, whatever they call it. You're prepared for something. It could be an emotional event. It could be a work event where you've really prepared for something, or you're ready for this next step. And you've laid a lot of groundwork. Like you wanted a promotion. Well, you did all the things you knew to do. You connected with all the people. You networked properly with everybody. You figured out the culture of the company and what they wanted to see in the next level. And so you've laid a bunch of groundwork here. Maybe you started a business. You've got the website ready, but it's not live yet. You've got a bunch of connections. You've got a plan of action all out. And that's actually been astrologically where we're supposed to have been over the last year and a half. Is a lot of planning and preparation. Current situation is the Sage. Is this the Hermit? Well, let's just go with what we got here. All this preparation, you're very wise. There could be a Virgo here. There could be a teacher here. There could be, maybe all of this work has been solo. Maybe you're kind of out here on your own, doing your own thing, preparing for your own future. Nine of Earth and Messenger of Earth. These are so great right here just because it's all this preparation work. And I feel like now you sit and you wait. Yeah, it's like going fishing. You're like out on a boat. Every metaphor is flowing in here. Like you're going fishing. You're like got out on a boat. You've got all your gear. You know what time. You know what place to go. And now you're sitting there with your line in the water, just sitting on the water. It's very peaceful. Breathing, exhaling. After all this preparation, there's a pause. There's an exhale. I feel that right now. Inner landscape, 10 of flowers. You want victory. You want happiness. You want the party. You want to go to the party afterwards. I think you might be looking forward to having completed something. It's like you're out there fishing on the boat and you're thinking about how you're going to cook the fish and who you're going to share the fish with. Yeah, you're out there on the boat and you're dreaming of catching some good fish and you've got the butter, you've got the whatever you want to cook it in. It's all ready. It's all waiting for you. And you're really dreaming about it. You're dreaming about this success, maybe having some friends over to cook some fish. Because right now you're out on the boat by yourself. You're out on the boat alone in the middle of the lake. But this is dreaming about coming back to shore and sharing your fish with people. So whatever metaphor that brings for you. Oh, look, we've got clams and shrimp here. So maybe you're out shrimping, or maybe you're out clam digging early in the morning, and you're thinking about the feast you're going to have later with your friends. And it is like a we did it. So I see all this preparation, and then I see this dream and this visioning of yay, we did it. And that's what you want. You want to share this insight, perhaps, all the insight, all the preparation. It's interesting. Like, are you aware that you are an expert preparer at this point? You maybe haven't executed the thing, in our fishing metaphor. Maybe you don't know what you're going to do with a fish. Oh, this is funny because I have tried to go fishing my whole life and I have never once caught a fish. I have been out in the ocean. I have been on lakes. I have been on rivers. I have fished and fished and fished, and I've never caught a fish. So what happens if I catch a fish? I don't know what to do at this point. I wouldn't know what to do with a fish if I caught it at all. I would probably freak out. So but I'm really good at like getting everything ready and making sure I'm prepared and making sure I have everything I need. I'm good at that. Like, so that's a little bit of what, like, you're dreaming of this fish, but I think what you are the expert on, which is I'm seeing the sage, you're the expert on the preparation. You're not necessarily an expert on the rest of the process. You're an expert on the preparation at this point because you've been preparing for a very long time and you are an expert at preparation. Ace of Fire reverse. I think we're such an expert on preparation that our fire's gone out a little bit. Like I don't really see. Well, there could be a teacher here. Yeah, there could be a teacher. Well, there could be Taurus energy here. There could be a teacher here ready for you to catch the fish finally and ready to take you and help you with that next level. Right? What's that phrase? When the student is ready, the teacher appears. That's a little bit about the sage. I'm not necessarily seeing you as the sage. I see someone else now coming in because you are the sage for some aspect, but there's somebody else coming in for another aspect, which is good because you've sort of lost your mojo. You're like looking forward to something, but I think you're not very inspired about where you're at right now. The present moment. There's a light that's gone out. No, there's a match that hasn't been struck yet. There's a lack of inspiration. That's what we can say here. Either there was inspiration and there is no more inspiration. You're not really inspired to continue preparing for something. You might be, or you haven't really seen the spark. You haven't really seen the thing that like makes you want to keep. You don't. The spark is out. You don't want. Loss of energy, loss of momentum. Maybe not a loss, maybe just never. Maybe you don't know what comes next. Maybe you don't know that you've been preparing for something because it hasn't shown itself yet. The inspiration or the purpose, the drive isn't here yet. It hasn't shown up. So it's either hasn't shown up or it was here and now has gone. So 6 of Arrows. In your environment, somebody's leaving. Somebody's leaving your environment. Or they're getting over something. They're moving on. Either somebody's moving on or the whole situation is like over. So if you feel like you were like stuck somewhere or trapped somewhere, it's over and everybody's moving on. So either nobody cares about this issue anymore, or, if there was conflict around an issue, nobody cares anymore. Or somebody's just moving, leaving. They're leaving your life. Yeah, this could be a leaving your life. Maybe they don't know where they're going. Maybe they do know where they're going, but somebody could be leaving your life, moving on, moving forward. Next thing. So if this is at work, this could be a coworker, maybe unexpectedly moving on, where you were expecting them to always be there, or maybe even the last conversation you had was like, no, I'm always going to be here, but secretly they've been looking for another job or something. But somebody's moving on here. And they might be like, if this is work related, I think that they might be like taking information with them that they're not sharing. They're taking information with them that they're not sharing. So if someone's leaving your life or some situation is ending or coming to a close, like there's still a lot that was never revealed here, and they're just moving on though. It's just a move on. We're not gonna, least said soonest mended kind of thing, or like we're not gonna belabor this point, and we're not gonna explain everything. There's not a lot of explanation here. It's just like, yep, going, not, yeah. And they're taking information with them. They're not explaining everything. There's not a big discussion about everything that happened. There's not a big review. If this is like an employee, they're not going to do the like exit interview or anything like that. There's nothing like that happening. They're just moving on. Your to-do list, begin of Earth. Wow. Be a child. Be a newbie. It's interesting because with this mother card and this child card here, the begin of earth, start something new in your life. It's so fascinating because there are these elders here, the sage, and this is possibly Taurus energy, this is possibly Virgo energy, but it's very grounded and we have so much earth here. This is very earth. So this could be health related. This could be job related. This could be money related. This could be home, anything tangible. There's a huge amount of earth in this. We have the 9 of earth, the messenger of earth, the begin of earth. I think the sage is giving a lot of earth. This ace of fire is spark out. So we have the sage here. Begin of earth, be the child. That's interesting. Both the mother and the child. You're being asked to be both the mother and the child. The beginner. The real beginner. The beginner in this whole new realm. It's like there's this whole aspect of your life that you are an expert on. And now here is the teacher coming you to show you the new job, the new level, the new thing that you're not an expert in. You may be an expert in a lot of this, but you're not an expert in this. But you do have a mentor here and you're ready for the mentor. You're ready for this. So see, the mentor, the sage, is handing her something. It's the passing the baton. They're passing the baton and you are receiving the baton. I think you're also receiving some insight, some understanding here. Ugh, there's a lot of people here. We have a messenger, a beginner, and then we have the king, complete of arrows. This expert starts to feel like a fool at some point. They know things. This is the arrows. This is like a lawyer. This could be a doctor. I'm struggling with it. This one isn't coming in very clearly for me. Complete of arrows. I feel sad when I see it. I feel very sad. I feel like something's ended, something's over. This person has learned everything they can here. They're very wise, but they also are so wise they've started to feel like a fool, like an idiot. They like know everything. I don't think this is you. I think this is somebody else. And maybe you start something and there's like a lawyer involved or a judge involved or a professor involved or some sort of expert, top of the field, the planner, the spreadsheet her. But I feel like they're a little depressed even at the pinnacle, even at the top of their game. They're not sitting at the top of their game, at the top of their career, at the top of the pile. They're not sitting there being like, I am the top of the pile. They're sitting there being like, I don't want to be here. This isn't what I want to do. I don't feel like I don't feel good here, even though I'm in the top of my field. Even though I'm an expert. I'm not enjoying being an expert. There's some sort of revelation that comes into this person and they're not 100% sure anymore about the paths they've chosen. It doesn't have to be that big, but they're not 100% sure anymore because they receive some kind of clarity in the midst of some sort of, maybe even in the midst of this. This guy looks like he's in here. He's in this situation. He's in this storm. He's in this black tornado, but he has this clarity here in his hand. This is looking like a sunflower to me. I'm not sure he wants that clarity, right? And the insight that comes after everything, after all the risks and decisions are made and the ungrounding, there's a reflection here that comes in. But he is seeing something. There is this light that comes through, sort of these breaks through the clouds. This person may appear like a black cloud to you, but they're there is some sort of insight and some sort of clarity and some sort of opening. I want to say that it's like they see God somehow in all of in something very difficult. They have a glimpse of the divine. And I don't know why, but this matchstick is looking like this sort of Rudolph clown nose here. That's unlit, uninspired. Interesting. So, I mean, just a depressed expert, I guess, is in your future here. And maybe the teacher that you have for your beacon of earth isn't enthusiastic. They're not happy about something, but they're still here to teach you, to guide you. Maybe they've lost their vision, or they've lost their delight at the world. They know too much. This complete of arrows knows too much. But for you, for your job, and maybe it's you, maybe you're headed somewhere where you're like, yeah, well, I did not want to know all that. That was not what I wanted. So, but this begin of earth, though, this is you. So begin the new job, the new place, the new physical journey. So, yeah. And then we're gonna do one of these puppies. Oh, no, we're gonna do two of these puppies. First one on the floor. We're closing out the reading with Colette Baron Reed's Dream Weaver's Oracle here. Oh, this feels good. For the wind that blows our sails. And like, is this an actual windstorm that comes through? Like, because we've got a lot of wind. We've been speaking about wind. Oh, I feel really good now. Like, this Ace of Fire was like, I don't like this. I don't, loss of energy, loss of enthusiasm. But this, here we go, roaring back to life. We've got the wind beneath our wings, the wind that blows our sails, smooth sailing, smooth, swift, sudden sailing. I like this because sailing is such a beautiful metaphor, especially for this, is like, we have all of this preparation, you know, when you're in the doldrums, when there's not a lot of wind, you're, you know, reorganizing your ropes, you're getting everything prepared for when the wind does come. So this is when the wind does come. I like it. And it looks like you have like a new job or a new thing. Somebody, there's a leaving energy here, an ending energy, and you have a new beginning, and there could be some swiftness to this, and it could be very ungrounding. So maybe this is a great, you take a risk, it upheavals everything and ungrounds everything. But, and I hope you all stayed for this part when I was like, woo, all right, actually, this feels really good now. So maybe, you know, this doom and gloom coming in at the beginning, maybe it's just this upheaval, this quick movement, this risk-taking movement that brings you where you need to be. And then beyond, my throat. And then here we have Beyond Your Fears, the Weaver's Dance. And I love it because it's with this risk card here. Beyond your fears, the Weaver's Dance. Big, scary, but once you break through that big, scary barrier, once you have the breakthrough, maybe this is a little bit of this too. Once you have the breakthrough with the unbound and upheaval, once you have the breakthrough, you're good to go. You're good to go. You have this like calmer ability to think things through, but they're beyond the fear. Once you get through some sort of threshold of fear or barrier, once you move past that fear and take the risk, it's going to be okay. It's smooth sailing after that. But I think there's a big scary buildup. Kind of like this reading, big scary buildup, and then poof, actually, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. So I love that. I love where we ended up. And take care of yourself throughout this whole process, even the big scary buildup and afterwards. Yeah, there's this blah, 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 and then, oh, I see. I see now. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. Thanks for joining me. See you guys next time.